So this is what the finished product is going to look like. I am going to walk through doing my passenger side. I've already done the driver side. I'll show you the steps and where the clips are, etc. Parts you're going to need are a heat gun, a ratchet, a 8mm socket, 10mm socket, some different prying tools, Phillips head screwdriver. You'll also need a punch. I just use this little Phillips, a hammer, something to clean the back where the new reflector is going to be going in, some rags, some of these pop rivets. You'll need at least 4, depending on if you take more off, and then of course you'll need your new reflector. Okay, so I'm over on the passenger side. It's going to be quite tough to get into all of these screws that are located in here. There's some around on the back side. So what you want to do if you're doing the passenger side, you want to crank your wheel all the way to the right to give yourself some room. Okay, so you got the wheel cranked all the way to the right, and you want to go ahead and start taking out the screws that are all the way around. There's 2 of these pop rivets that you're going to have to take out. There are also 2 more screws right here and here. These 2 for this mud flap piece you don't have to take off. That can stay on. I'll mention a couple that are kind of hidden or hard to get to. There is one, if I can show it. There is one, not sure if the camera's getting it. There's one right here. That one's a little tough to get to, don't forget that one. And then there's 2 plastic clips. There's one here. You want to pull out the center first. That'll release the inside kind of pressure of it flaring, and then you can pull the whole clip out. As well as there's another clip just like that here. And then there's a plastic kind of nut here that holds a bunch of these shrouds together as well. Okay, so I've got most of the screws out. There's actually one more of those plastic rivets you gotta take out here. Same thing, just pull out the middle. I'm gonna try to demonstrate doing one of those in a sec. As well as there are 3 Phillips head screws attached of the shroud to the bottom skid plate. So you have to take those 3 out as well. So I'm gonna try to show taking out one of those plastic rivets. Grab some type of trim tool. And I'll try to get a little closer. So in the middle, there's a piece that's gonna come out. So you wanna try to pull that piece out first. If I can get it. Okay, so that flew out. And then once that is out, then the rivet will come out really easy. The screw right here happens to actually be a Torx 20. Also, just for reference, there's a couple of these screws that are a little bit longer, slightly longer, and they have a bigger washer. So the very bottom one is a smaller one. The second one is a bigger one. The third one is also a bigger one. And then the only other one that is another bigger one is the very top here in the center. Every other screw is a small one. Next thing you want to do, you want to take your punch and your hammer, and what you want to do is put the punch inside the center of these little pop rivets and then hit it with a hammer. So you're going to do this one, the first one, and then also the next one. I only had to do those 2. That was enough to get the fender liner out enough to get the lens changed. You might need less, might need more, but I just did 2. In order to hit it with the hammer though, you're gonna have to turn the wheel the other way so that you have enough room to hit the punch. So I've already got ahead and hit this one with my punch, pushed it through. So all I gotta do now is take some type of popper tool. I got this tool, it actually came with a set of specialty car rivets. But put it on there, pull it out, and then the whole thing should come out with the piece that was pushed through. So this piece here is the pin that you had pushed through the center, which then releases and then it's able to pull out. Also, you can pull the fender, just pull on it, comes off fairly easy. There's some clips here I'll show you, but if you pull on it, they just come off quite easy. I didn't have to pull it any more than that. You don't got to do another one, but you should have enough free room now to kind of move the shroud around. Okay, so I've got my fender shroud out enough that I'm gonna have enough room to work on getting the reflector out. You may not have to take all of the screws that I took out, but it kind of helps the fender liner move just a little bit more. So if you can get away with not taking them out, that's fine. I'll just show you how I kind of got the fender out. So what I did is these kind of always kept catching back in their holes, so I had to come under, kind of hold it out, and then I could move the fender liner a little bit easier. So if you're feeling something get caught, it's probably these ones holding it in. So this is the heat gun I'm going to be using. It's quite powerful. I got it cranked down most of the way because I don't want to overheat it and then possibly melt the plastic on the reflector or wreck my bumper in any way. So what I do is I just go kind of back and forth along the bottom, around the outside perimeter of the reflector. You don't have to do the reflector itself. There's no glue holding it on there. And I just kind of did the lower, kind of 1/3 of it or so. Okay, so I've heated it up to a good temperature. I can feel a little bit of heat on the plastic. It's not so hot though. Then what I did is I took my plastic trim tool. It's currently on the inside there, just kind of pressed in between the bumper and the reflector. I'll try to get a shot of this, might be a little bit hard. Okay, and then I'm just kind of working it with my hand, trying to separate it between the two. And then if you have two hands, you can kind of start to push it out as well with your thumb. It's kind of hard to do all this at once, but. So just continuing on with that trim piece tool, you can see it here, but what I've done, it's kind of already off, but I just kept pushing it on the inside up and up and up. You can use some heat if you want as well and do this on the other side with the trim tool, but eventually you're gonna get a point where it's pretty much just kind of off. Then what you can do is, I could just pretty much do this with my hands now, but just be careful that if you ever want to use this piece again, you don't flex it too much that it cracks. But I'm not using it anyway, but I still kind of want to be careful with it. Just wanted to make a quick comment on the quality of the aftermarket one that I bought. So it's this one here on the right. It is Depot brand. The camera fit into it nice. The screws lined up well. It fits into the housing well, which I'll show once I install. The stock one here is BMW, of course. There's some part numbers there. There's a lens number there. Housing number there, if any of you guys need that. I'm not sure what this little clip is here on both of them. There's nothing on the inside of my vehicle that it actually attaches to, so maybe it was just made for multiple vehicles. Mine doesn't have it though. Just looking at the front of the reflector. So everything's good with the reflector, good build quality. Goes in well nice, camera fits nice. Just one thing I noticed, it's kind of hard to see. There's a slight line that goes here in the black, just from the production. I don't know if you can see it kind of there. It's very, very slight. Whereas in the stock one, there is no line there. But other than that, I would say really good quality. Okay, so just before installing the new reflector, what you're gonna do is make sure the backside of this housing here is really clean. So what I did is I took some isopropyl alcohol, I put it on a rag, cleaned the backside, and then I took a microfiber cloth just to clean up any excess, if there were drips or anything like that, and then you can install the unit. Okay, so at this point, everything should be good. You should have your back cleaned. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this in. So I'm just gonna set the camera down for 1 sec, just to do it with 2 hands. Okay, once you got it in behind there, you just wanna make sure that you put it in straight. There is only really one way to get it in there, so I kinda started at the top. Put the camera in first, and then I kinda just pushed in the bottom, and then it should be in good. Then what you should do, I'm not gonna show this on camera, but just press firmly all the way around so that there is pressure just for a while it's adhering, and then it should be good. Okay, so the reflector is now installed. I'm just gonna go back and put in all of the clips and all the screws, and then kind of give a walk around and show what they look like. So the reflectors are in. I think they look pretty good. With my space gray color, the gray reflectors match pretty well. Some light they look darker, some they look lighter. I think they look pretty good though. Show the other side. So on the shade they look a little bit darker.